Merry meet and welcome to Jupiter's Radiance. I'm Taylor, and today we're going to be talking about the second week of October, or a card spread that I'm calling 10 out of 10. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so for this card spread, it does take 10 cards, as you can see, and it is meant to support in seeing how things or a situation is panning out. Now, for this, the top row are going to be all situations, and the bottom row are all the outcomes, to where it's a situation to an outcome. But each outcome is going to lead into the next situation. So this can be good for also seeing in between checkpoints for an overall goal. So you can do a general reading and it can be for out of your whole life. It can be for a relationship and how it develops, or it could be that you're planning a bigger project and you kind of need to know each checkpoint in it. So it is going to be 5 checkpoints, but it is going to be chronological essentially. So you're going to be able to recognize those ups and downs a little bit more easily and be able to navigate them a little bit more. Because as you'll notice, these are just situations and outcomes, not necessarily advice on how to handle. If any intuition comes through on that advice during our collective reading, of course we'll share, but just note that it is easy to add more into the situation. Actually, so I know this is 10 out of 10. If you're like, I really need advice on these transitions, you can add cards in between each of these, and those will help you with advice on transitioning from the outcome to the next situation. A lot of times, these outcomes will naturally go into those situations though. All right. Let's go ahead and just jump into our collective reading. All right, so I am holding the camera, so this means, especially with this large, I'm going to sometimes be moving it to help it maybe focus on the cards. I will definitely be reading them out, but just please be patient with me, and auditorily you will definitely get all the information that you need. With that, let's begin. So our first situation that we have is source of life. So this is letting me know that the first situation is really the start of things. It's actually very interesting because this can encompass like so much, but it's also kind of like as small of a seed. So this is kind of just the idea. This is the beginning. This is going to be about also the why. Like, you're working on this, you're engaging with this energy in order to gain more life for yourself, to feel more fulfilled. So let's go ahead and see the outcome of this first situation. And we have light. So this is letting us know that as you engage with this source of life and as you engage with this idea, you're going to gain more insight and more courage into it. So let's go ahead and take a look into our next situation that light leads into. And we have truth. So immediately, so as you're engaging with this idea, getting those insights, you're also gaining more truth. Something with this too, because this is the situation. The situation is the truth. And so the insights that you're gaining means that this truth is kind of something where it kind of takes you a moment, kind of takes you aback a little bit. It feels like some harsh truth, or not harsh, actually, hard is the better word to say. Just truth that you can no longer deny due to going along on this path now. So let's go ahead and take a look at this outcome. And we have blessing. So despite feeling a little bit off-put by this truth, there is a blessing that comes forward from knowing it. And there is something to be said around revealing yourself and understanding yourself more, right? From source of life, a big part of this starting journey is the fact that you're looking to get more out of life. And that starts with being more honest with yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how that blessing leads into the next situation, and it's joy. Just clear-cut joy. Sounds like a time of celebration, and there's not really much to do in this period besides allowing yourself to be happy. Let us see our outcome, and we have moving towards the light. So this is telling me that this situation, what happens from this feeling of lightness, because you've kind of, right, the situation was like, oh, this truth is a little bit harder to accept, but the outcome is that actually I feel better knowing it. And then through this, it leads to the new situation of having so much joy, more joy in my life, which this is a halfway point when we think about it, right? And it is a very good checkpoint to be like, okay, I am moving along in the direction that I want to, in gaining more life for myself and gaining more happiness for myself. And the outcome, though, is moving towards light. So there is this recognition of I'm not done with my journey yet, though, and continuing on and feeling encouraged and excited about the forward movement. Okay, and that leads us to growing. Okay, I love when things like this come together. So growing, very clear cut. You're moving, you're continuing forward. You're no longer afraid of what you're going to be finding out either. You have gained this bravery from knowing more about the truth and accepting more of the truth to where you're able to actually grow from that. And also something that I think is so interesting is I used the word seed for source of life, and then we very clearly towards the end here have growing and roses growing out of the ground. And so this is something bigger that at the beginning kind of didn't feel like it would have a physical presence in your life or really change your life, but there is this energy that true change is happening and you're seeing it in the external around this point. So let's see the outcome here. And we have strength. So you're getting more strength. It's very clear cut, right? You are able to take on what you're growing and it is becoming more of your strength. So something very important to know here as you continue at your halfway point into growing and this situation, the outcome is that what you are learning during this part and what you're growing during this part within yourself becomes truly a strength that you hold for the rest of your life is how it feels. So let's see what that strength leads to. The eternal light of love. So this is the situation. This is essentially the last situation. So if this was something checking in from the beginning idea to the realization of that idea, we are seeing it being very successful here because you, through this strength, have gained this eternal light of love. And I think it's so interesting because we have all these zodiac signs here too, and that speaks to me of like knowledge. So yep, we also have it looks like it's on the brow chakra or the third eye, and so there's so much insight that is being gained through this. I also love, so strength, okay, you might be confused because strength is also the backing of these cards, but this is, as you can see. But in this card, they're holding a sword. So I just love how the imagery is just flowing and you are essentially using, oh my gosh, the other thing about swords is that they often are seen as wisdom and truth. The sword of truth is what Michael uses. It is considered part of the armor of God. And so that is part of the strength that you are gaining is the truth and the fact that you have continued to grow through that understanding. And it helps you gain wisdom and courage in understanding yourself better, as well as the world around you. Okay, so let's just see what our outcome is for the eternal light of love. And we have inner calling. So ironically, I think this is actually essentially kind of helping you understand a purpose in your life, not necessarily the purpose, because I believe we have multiple purposes, but during what stages of our life we're in is more around what is being developed in that moment. Because like when you think about it, your purpose in life when you're 8 years old is to have fun and to learn about the world around you and to learn about yourself, like it's not necessarily, oh, I meant to do this years later. It's more about the focus on the now. So I point to this being as you've gained so much courage and wisdom, so much insight, and this situation is leading you to understanding what you want to do further. It's not necessarily anyone else telling you what to do. It's you saying, you know what, I know now. I know how I want to proceed. So I absolutely love this for everyone here. I would call this a 10 out of 10 card spread for sure. But definitely feel free to comment below. Let me know how this is resonating with you. And at the end of the week, I would love to hear if you have an inner calling that you would like to share and maybe just put it out there and claim it for yourself. With this, I will go ahead and end it, but don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Blessed be.